Hello everyone, love having you back and welcome if you are new here. I am SPOOKYHUY and this is my channel where we do spooky things. Okay, today is a huge Halloween hunting video. So we've got different days. I went through to we went to TJ Maxx, we went to Marshall's, Homegoods, At Home, Michael's, and then we kind of did it again, except for Marshall's. I only went to Marshall's once. But within the past week and a half, I have dragged my children to the stores, and yes, we have just kind of made a thing of it, and they've actually been really, really cool about it. So that's been awesome, because I was like, you know how mommy always supports you guys in everything that you choose to do? And they're like, yes. And I was like, okay, well, I would love for you guys not to be cranky and support mommy in the things that I like to do. So they have been great, and it's been a lot of fun, and it's been a great time. So I have loved having that time with them, and us just really hanging out. But anyway, so let's get right into it, and then I'll meet you back afterwards.
All right, y'all, we're back at Michael's. This is back on June 19th, and they had moved some of the stuff. Like, all of these ornaments were in a totally different section the last time that I was there. So they're definitely reorganizing and getting stuff together. And then they also had these really cute little tree toppers, which I thought were so fun. A little ghost and a little bat. So yay. And then there were a few new things that I added that I had not seen before of the pink stuff. And they actually moved all the disco stuff. So this was in the back of the store when I first discovered it, like those bats. But now it's all up in the front. They kind of have it all together. So yeah, all the stuff. And they added some cats. So they didn't have cats before either. And then they still have those other, then they had a smaller ghost, not like that huge one that's $150. These ones were much smaller, but honestly, these just make me nervous because I already saw on some of them, the little, beads or whatever, the disco parts, they're already coming off on some of them. So just buyer beware if you're going to buy one, make sure that none of them are missing pieces. But there were a few other things in the cute little, actual true Halloween collection. Not very many, but I just took a couple pictures of those here. And then they did have a few new pillows, cute little cat one with the pumpkin, and then the dog and the cat, because I'm a cat person. And then they had one random Spooky Town display that they did not have when they first put all of it out. So that was awesome that they added it. It was not working though. So yeah, I have not seen it in action, but it was very cute. And then they actually kind of started having the next aisle set with a lot of the fall garland and fall other little thingies and the little fairy houses and the picks to go inside of stuff. And then they had these few little critters, and they, doing all the cutesy fall things. And the pig was really cute. And of course the little chipmunk. And then this one, the little, I don't even know if it's a chipmunk or a squirrel, whatever, but he's dressed like a bloody mummy and he's flipping adorable. I did not buy it, but I don't know. Maybe in the future I will. But it was really, really cute. And then there was also these cute little puppies. So yeah, just those little wood chip things, and they're so fun. And then we ended up going to Barnes & Noble just to kind of check everything out. And I loved that they had this little spooky summer display. And then these were the books that they had around it. So that was fun. I did end up snagging the Final Girls Support Group. I've heard it's very good. So I did pick that up. And then of course my kids got a couple books because, can't leave Barnes & Noble without getting books. But then we headed over to Marshall's, and this was a couple of days later, June 22nd, and they were starting to get some stuff out. Of course, they had, the different little towels. They didn't have very much out at this Michael's, but they did have a few things. So that was cool, and I did super sneaky snag the adorable towel with the drinks all over it because I just freaking love it, and it was so, so cute. So yes, that one is gone. I took it. Well, obviously I paid for it, but I have it. Then we moseyed on over to HomeGoods, and we saw legit stuff at HomeGoods. Not a whole lot, just a few things. They did have the Headless Horseman, which was cool. And then this really giant mirror, which was awesome, like this coffin thing. Very, very cool. And then we skedaddled over to At Home. And as you can see, my son is showing you, there was nothing, nada, zilch, just nothing at all. So 0 Halloween still on this day. But they did have a few fall things. So down a couple other aisles, they had a couple pillows, a couple little picks, like, turkeys, like, hello, Thanksgiving, but no Halloween out. But yeah, so they had that. And then they had boxes. I mean, they're starting. So they're getting ready to, and then they had these other aisles, usually where they put all the floral. They were all completely empty. And, a few in one aisle, and then they have the huge little display that's always out in the front. That was completely empty. So they're getting ready for it, which is exciting. And then this was just totally out of nowhere, but I saw it and thought it was great that Lego is going to be making an X-Files Lego set. So I thought that was cool. I don't normally do Legos like my kids do. I wish I had the patience to do it, but I don't. So, but it's very cool. And so if anyone is interested in that, it looks awesome. But anywho, so then a couple days later, we went over back to TJ Maxx because, we had to see what we can see. And I was on the hunt. I needed to find Frank because I'm calling him Frank for summer. Frankenstein in the, Halloween time. But for the summer, he's going to be Frank. So I was on the hunt for Frank, and oh my heck, we flipping found 2 of them, and I snagged them both because one of my spooky besties, she needed a Frank also. So we grabbed him, and so that was very, very exciting. And they had a few other things, but not that much still at TJ Maxx. And then we went next door to Homegoods, and holy Halloween galore. Like, they had this beautiful display with like this cool little, I don't know, shelf thing with this like witch on top of it. It looked really cool. Something like my mom would probably like. And then they had this flipping cool Frankenstein. His eyes glowed red. So cool. I really am kicking myself in the face, even if I could do that, because I did not pick it up and I'm really regretting it. And spoiler, I went back the day that I'm recording this and they're all gone. So yeah, I missed out on that. So I'll have to keep an eye out, I guess. But they have this really cool, like, candelabra, Martha Stewart, of course, and then like with the black snake, I just think it looks neat. And then they just had like some other random things out, a few other Summerween things mixed in here. I am really liking all the Martha Stewart pieces. I think they look really cool. But yeah, so just, there's lots of them. And then as we were looking, oh my heck, we found the bride, and I snagged 2 of them, one for me and one for one of my spooky besties because we needed those, Frank and his bride. So very, very exciting that we found those. Could not believe it. And then there were a few more things here that day. We'll just kind of go through these little pictures. Another Frankenstein thing, which was kind of cool. He kind of was like cement. I did not pick it up. Well, he looks like cement. I don't know if it's actually really heavy or not, but it looks cool. I don't know. I mean, I don't think I will be getting that one. I'm really sad about the other one though. But then they had some pastel pumpkins. They got a lot of different colors of pumpkins, of course, and moving through all that. And then these really cool, candle holder things like with skeletons all over them. I thought those were pretty cool looking. And then they do have some of those cakes. Like, I know a lot of people are into those cakes, all spooky. I mean, they're really, really cute. So if you're looking for those, like, some of the Homegoods are starting to get them out. And there's lots of ghosts. There are ghosties everywhere, I feel like, that I'm seeing online and just kind of all over the place. So lots of ghosties everywhere. And yeah, it's just getting crazy. So that was really exciting at Homegoods. And so then we ended up going back to Michael's, I think it was like 2 days later. And remember all that stuff we saw in that cool aisle with the cute little critters and like the mummy and all that stuff? Gone. All of it was gone. The only thing that was there was completely empty. So I don't know if they accidentally put those out. And we looked around. We did not see them anywhere. So those were gone. And then I'm a Disney girl. So I did check online to see if they had any stuff out yet. And they had a couple of shirts out. So this one, this Happy Halloween one with Mickey, it was for adults. And then the little cute pinky one was for kids. And the little orange one was for kids, and that one does glow in the dark. And then they had a couple of new Nightmare Before Christmas pieces, this little candy jar of Jack Skellington, an Oogie Boogie piece, and then a Jack and Sally, and the Dr. Finkelstein. So that's cool, and it looks like the top of his head opens, so if you wanted to have it closed, you could, or open. So that was neat. And then I love these salt and pepper shakers. It's the Madame Leota from the Haunted Mansion. And it looks like it sits on top of each other. Like, how stinking cute is that? I love it. And then they had, said it was new, like a Haunted Mansion goblet. So that's cool, the front and back of that. And then just a random piece from the Haunted Mansion, like from the stretching room. And then they have this pretty cool goblet with Jack Skellington as the pumpkin one. And the back says the Pumpkin King. So that was really cool. And just kind of tossed those in there. And then that brings us to today. Today is June 29th. And we went back to TJ Maxx to see what they had. And they did have a few new things. Still not really a lot. I mean, I took the couple pictures they had, but not really too many new things. A couple new pillows, some cute bats, and just some other random things. This crazy skeleton on the bike, like the exercise bike. My kids pushed the buttons. It was so loud for the music it was playing. Oh my gosh, it was hilarious. So they have that. And then that big white fluffy jack-o'-lantern pillow. Oh, it was so soft. And it was very, very cute. And then they have just some really cute stuffies and pillows. The 2 packs of pillows are kind of cool that they have this year. That's neat. And then I don't know why, but the dinosaur one is cute. The dinosaur mummy is adorable. And I do like the frog one. That's really cute too. And then we headed next door, and oh my goodness, we went back to Homegoods. And remember that giant beautiful display? It's like empty. Everyone is buying the spooky stuff. It is great. And then they had this giant skeleton on display randomly, like nothing else around it. And my kids were like, oh, it's so big, trying to get it for scale. And then they had a lot of just stuff kind of around. So they had some dishes and that cute super mug with the pumpkin. And I didn't pick it up, and now I'm kicking myself. They did have some new Hello Kitty stuff, evil apple from the Evil Queen, the apple, I think it was a cookie jar. And then they had that carousel. That's really cute. It does play music. Those are really, really cute. I like those. And then the eyeball thing in the hand, which is cool. And then they had just some pumpkins and this little, I don't know, pastel dude. He's very, very cute. I like that. I don't know why. I mean, I'm not going to buy that one, but I just thought it was cute. I like the glasses and stuff. And yeah, so they had some witches and some more ghosties and just not very many signs yet. Just the one Hocus Pocus one. And then there was the really cute, I don't know. It was like ghosts just looking all cute with witch hats and stuff. That was really cute. And then they have lots of witches, just different types. And then they had a random Snoopy sitting there. And then a cute little skull pineapple, a different one. So not like the Summerween one, just like a different one. And then the word spooky, that was kind of cool, I thought. And then just the candles and pumpkins and just the rest of these cute little pictures. And that was awesome. So then we did head over to At Home. And oh yes, they are starting to put out At Home. Oh my gosh, I was so excited. It's still not really that much compared to other videos I've seen. There is a lot at a lot of other stores, but it's at least a start. And so yes, I was very excited for those. I did really like this crow beaded pillow. Like, I'm not going to buy it, but I thought it was just really, really cute. And then the pumpkin one was really cute too, the jack-o'-lanterns. But all those beads, no, not for me, but so, so cute. And then, they had the hippie hollow looking thing and some eyeballs and then a cute little skeleton bear. Okay, that was really adorable. And then they had a snake pillow, which was cool. And then, oh my goodness, they have these giant, my son is holding this cat up, humongous cat stuffed animal pillow. And then my daughter was holding the skeleton with the witch hat, and hers was a little bit higher, a couple inches up, but they are huge. I actually really like the quality of both of them. And if I'm thinking correctly, I think they were only $44.99. So I am, yes, kicking myself again because I didn't buy the skeleton one with the witch hat. And so I might have to go back and hopefully see if we can get it. But anyway, so we do have all the skeletons in here. I really need a skeleton chicken for this year, and I'm not seeing a chicken. So I'm going to have to keep my eye out. If anyone sees a skeleton chicken, please let me know in the comments where I can find ones, because I would like to have like 2 or 3. So we'll see. I'm kind of hoping once Tractor Supply maybe gets their Halloween stuff out, that maybe that might be a good place to look. But anywho, but as we went through here, yes, we have a couple of the hanging things. The witch ones are really cool. Some of them lit up. And then there were a couple of doormats, not very many out yet, but love the one with the bat. It's so, so cute. And the Medusa wall art piece is very, very cool. And then they have this Death Before decaf coffee mug. It was so, so cute, but I actually would not drink out of it. The hole is too small at the top. And I find that those very odd shaped mugs are kind of difficult to drink out of, at least for me. So it's really cute, but I won't be grabbing it. And then, Disney Girl, Stitch as a vampire, like I flipping love it. So we'll probably end up scooping him up eventually. And then they had some neon skeletons and a really pretty spider web. I really liked that. And then of course my daughter's just trying to drink some poison here. It's fine. And then they do have, they had some pumpkins, those bags. And then they did that section that was empty in the earlier picture. They did have a whole bunch of stuff. Well, not a whole bunch. They're starting to get it out. So we just kind of went through here, checked all these things out. And yes, so a lot of these, I feel like they've been seen in videos. So all this stuff is really not new, except did love this giant planter thing. I don't know, where the skeleton, he's just like putting his hands and then his head in his hands. It's cute. And then they did have a section of the fall pumpkins. So they're starting to fill that out. There's still a decent amount of space that is not filled in. And then I just really liked this one. It looked cool with almost kind of looks wood, but not really. And then this blue one was just pretty. And yeah, so they are starting to fill in some of the fall aisles, as you can see here. And then there's just boxes everywhere. And so they're starting. And then they did have these really, really cute, I don't know, almost like metal sculptures. And they did say that they lit up. So those pumpkins, I really liked those. Those were fun. And then up at the front, randomly on the bottom, next to football towels, they had these 2 Halloween towels, so hand towels, and those were really cute. And then they had one Halloween thing out on display over with like the big stuff. They got tons of boxes, but this little ghosty blow mold was the only thing out there. But yeah, so overall, it was a successful Halloween hunting past like week and a half.
Okay, so yes, lots of stuff is coming out. And yeah, it is so crazy that the Michaels had all those things out, those cute little things, and then gone. So I don't know if it was an accident or maybe they just put them out too early or whatever. I don't know. And then, so that was crazy. And I am loving those ginormous stuffies, the skeleton with the witch hat and the black cat. But they're so stinking cute. And they're like the one you saw, like it's as big as my son just about. So they're very, very sizable, and they were very soft. So, and like, I mean, not like heavy, but heavy for a pillow. So, or stuffed animal. Well, yeah, a pillow. I guess they're calling it a pillow. But anywho, so yes, I am going to have a different video for my haul. I have a Summerween haul. Basically, I did go crazy on all of the Summerweeny things, and because they just never had it before, and I was like, I need this. So I'm going to put that in another video, so hopefully you can check that one out too and see all the cute stuff I got. And you already have a spoiler alert because you know that I got Frank and the bride. So pumped for that. But I'll put that in a different video. And yeah, so thank you for clicking on this video. If you would like to subscribe, that would be awesome. If not, that's cool too. Hope you still enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time. Bye.